I think it's because my name. You know what I mean? Because
Oh
my
snap!
bro, I got a real black name. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you see that name on the application, you know this is a, you know what I mean? You know what type of person this is. They may not know what type of person I am, but they automatically know, okay, this is a black guy.
All right, welcome or welcome back to the Computer Keys channel. I am Marquise, and today we're back with another episode of the My Tech Story interview series. I got Tay here with me. We actually met through the comments on one of my posts, I think.
Yeah.
So I peeped that you were in tech. DM'd you. Actually, I looked at it earlier. It's like exactly a month ago today. So we like had this joint planned, had to work around schedules and stuff like that, but we finally doing this. So I appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, taking the time to do this for real.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate
Oh yeah,
you doing what you're doing. Because
for
it's
sure.
definitely important, man. Especially when it comes to this specific field and tech.
Hmm.
Us like we're underrepresented. You know.
Right. Definitely. That's exactly what I'm going for. So I appreciate that too. All right, yeah. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna start off with like a little bit about you. So you don't gotta remember everything I'm about to say. I'll keep you on track. Like, um,
Cool.
so start with like your name, your age, location, hometown, race, ethnicity, fun fact about you, or fun facts, and then like some interests outside of tech or outside of work. But don't gotta remember everything. I'll keep you
Okay.
on
All
track.
right. I'm gonna do my best to remember
All
everything.
right.
Now let me see if I let
All
me see if my memory skills is working. All right.
right.
So my name is Devonte. My age. I'm 30 years old. Actually, I'll be 31 tomorrow.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, man. So I live in the Washington D.C. area. I'm familiar with the whole DMV area. Um, Let me see. Um, was occupation one of the things
Not
now?
yet. We're not there yet.
We're
It
not
was
there yet.
yeah.
Okay.
So your
So
race. Are you from DC?
yeah, I'm from DC,
Okay.
born and raised. My ethnicity. My father is directly from Nigeria. My
Mm.
mother is indigenous here. Um, so let me see what else. Um, Hold on, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I feel.
As many of
So
these
my
as I've
interest.
done, I still don't remember it. So go ahead. My fault.
So let me say interest outside of tech. I'm actually a musician. I've actually,
Mm.
been a songwriter for since I was 9 years old, as a matter of fact. So I'm actively making music, pursuing a music career. That's my passion, actually. Um, Let me see what I miss.
Just fun fact, but it sounded like a fun fact
Fun
too.
fact. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like that could double as both.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, yeah. So I think we'll leave it there.
Now we got a lot in common though. I make music too. I don't know if you
Yeah.
peeped on my page, but yeah, like we gonna have to talk about that
Oh,
too
that's for sure.
on the side. But no, that's tough. You said you live in DC. Or you from DC too? I actually
Hmm.
lived. I lived in Oxon Hill. It's like
Oh
right
yeah.
outside. Yeah, like right outside of DC for like let's say like 2 years, like a year and a half, 18 months, something
How,
like that.
how'd
I
you
was
like it?
it was cool. DC reminded me a lot of Philly, honestly.
Hmm.
Like and Baltimore too. Like they all kind of remind me of Philly. So like doing the music stuff too. I was doing little shows in DC or like open mics and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
then like around Maryland, like other like random cities and stuff like that. But nah, it's
Yeah.
cool. I love DC. So
Yeah. That's great. I actually love Philly, man. I
mm,
got some family up there in Philly that I
mm,
come visit every now and then. So
nah, we definitely gonna have to probably link up or some shit next time I come down DC. It's gonna
for
be cool.
sure.
Um, Let me see. You mentioned something else. Oh, you said your pop is from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Um, how in touch are you with like your Nigerian roots? Do you speak any like the language or anything?
Nah, as a matter of fact, I'm in the process of learning. I've actually never even been out there.
Mm,
My dad actually lives out there. Now he actually happens to be in town for like he'll probably be in town until the end of this year, probably until like next month, December sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had much contact with that side of the family, as a matter of fact, because of him,
Mm-hmm.
actually still living in Nigeria. I have some family, aunts and uncles that still live in the DMV area, but kind of widespread. You know what I mean? So I don't have much connection to that side, or I guess I could say familiarity with that
Mm-hmm.
side. But I myself, I am a student and member of a cultural society here that's been raised in America, known as
Mm-hmm.
the United Sabian Nation.
Mm.
And a
Okay.
lot of our cultural practices, a lot of our even our language and all of that, it goes back further than even I could say where my father's side or tribe
Mm-hmm.
comes from, which is the Igbo tribe. But it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's deeply interconnected, you know.
Damn. No, that's cool. So, well, one, do you see yourself going over there to like just at least kind of get the experience of it?
Oh, absolutely, man. I actually see myself living out there, at
Mm-hmm.
some point. I plan on making a visit out there actually the top of next year, 2024 sometime,
Oh, that's
but
cool.
yeah, absolutely, bro.
So it seems like even though you haven't necessarily been too in touch with that stuff, you still got that kind of community also through what you said the United, what was it again?
Sabian Nation.
Sabian Nation. Yeah, nah, that's
Uh-huh.
cool. So how'd you find that? Like, was that something you stumbled across, or did you like go looking for that community kind of thing?
It's funny. The community just happens to be what can I say? I guess it's kind of like hand in hand with it. What brought me to it was kind of just searching for knowledge. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like studying different things, like different diving deep into the esoteric realm,
okay.
spirituality and things of that nature. I'm sure like most of us over here were born or raised Christian or
Mm-hmm.
Muslim or whatever the case is like that. But those are all things that we adopted,
Right.
after losing our original way of life, after losing our original culture.
Mm-hmm.
So me studying and searching through all of these different religions, it pretty much led me to somebody who we affectionately refer to as the master teacher of this day and time.
Okay.
And he's pretty much been teaching for over 60 years on different topics like religion, spirituality, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually been able to get us to a point of recognizing where all of these different religions and world cultures actually stem from, the root
Gotcha.
of it,
Right.
you know.
Right. No, that's cool. That's why I like asking this question because I would have never like from your page. Your
Hmm.
joint is a non-frequency, right? So
Hmm.
you just kind of like the look of your page. I could kind of tell that you were in touch with some type of spiritual, you know,
Hmm.
uh, I don't know, connection or something like that. So that's why I like asking that question to get a little deeper and kind of see like who you are outside of what we about to get into. But no, that's pretty cool
Absolutely.
though. That's tough
Hey man, I appreciate the question,
for
bro. I
sure,
appreciate the question because
for
many
sure.
people will look and even then, like many people will look whether it be on Instagram or in person because my cultural dress is what I would usually be wearing,
Mm,
and it's something that it stands out, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You know what I mean? So
mm,
I'll notice people most of the time. Our people will look and they'll just that'll just be it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Knowing that they got questions, knowing that they want to know, but
yeah.
they'll be apprehensive, and not ask.
No,
So
one
I
thing
appreciate the question.
for sure. One thing I respect is people, being true to you. You went out,
Hmm.
you wanted knowledge. You went out, you found something that you connected with. I got all respect for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of people that's lost out here. They don't know what they want to do, what they want to believe in. So, I think it's
Hmm.
really is power and kind of being certain of what you believe, and I respect that a lot. So, I'm
Absolutely,
glad
man.
you brought that
Appreciate
up.
it.
That's cool for sure. All right, so now you're gonna get into the tech stuff. All right, so what do you do for how long, and if you feel comfortable, salary like a salary range?
Hmm. So right about now, what I do more freelance work than anything.
Mm-hmm.
I do freelance work, and I'm also in the process of actually building a business, being as though, like I have a background in, an extensive background in IT. I've gotten my CompTIA A plus fundamentals
Mm-hmm.
plus and my CompTIA security plus, and along with my software engineering ISTQB certification, but I still felt so much resistance actually getting in. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So, I've had a job, a tech job, or a couple tech jobs here and there, but that it pretty much inspired me to want to create my own
Right.
agency, or like a staffing agency where I can be someone that actually gets recruitment positions or opportunity to actually help folks like
Mm-hmm.
yourself and myself to
Mm-hmm.
actually get in the door. You know what I mean?
No, that's cool. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So you kind you was having trouble finding opportunities. So you like forget that I'm gonna just become the opportunity and try to get that for other people too.
Exactly,
Nah, that's
exactly.
tough. I love that. So you mentioned a lot of certs.
Hmm.
Did you? And we'll get into this later. But did you go to like college or anything, or did you strictly focus on the certs and everything?
Nah, nah, I didn't go to, well, yes and no.
Uh,
I can say that I did go to college, but what I went to college for, and community college, by the way, was
mhm.
something completely different.
I see.
Um, yeah, but so the certs came about by way of an organization. It's called the Hope Project,
Hmm.
and what they do is they pretty much focus on being able to get people that's in, in the younger age range, specifically our demographic, being able to get them into a training course. The training
Hmm.
course, 9 times out of 10, is either IT, they have a CDL course and something else. But just because they notice the same way we notice that we're under
Hmm.
represented in
Yeah,
these circles. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's how I ended up getting at least uh two of those certs.
And so it was like once you got those, you just kind of kept getting more.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was, man. And like I didn't, it's not nothing that I really planned. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It's like the opportunity presented itself, and
Right.
the way that their training regimen went, it's like they automatically once you go through the course, you automatically will be getting two certifications. You have
Mm.
to sit for two of the certifications, which is the fundamentals, the IT fundamentals cert. And then if you continue the class or you continue the course, then that's when you will get your CompTIA A plus certification.
Mm.
Now, getting the security plus, that was a step beyond it, just because when you're like in the career in that field, that's the thing, that it's never really stagnant. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
especially considering those specific certifications, it's like they're only good for, I want to say, like 2 years or something like that, and then
Right.
they're like you have to pretty much move up. You have to get a cert that's above that one
Hmm.
for you to pretty much stay working with that one, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But something that keeps coming up throughout these joints is how much tech changes, and uh,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to security, because vulnerabilities can come up and everything. Those ones you gotta stay on top of, because last thing you need
Absolutely.
is like a like what was that, R4J, something like that.
Hmm.
One of them things had like a crazy breach or whatever it was.
Hmm.
It's like little shit like that. So I'm gonna have to, outside of this, I'm gonna have to get you in touch with my pop, because
Okay.
I feel like for the business he does, and then you being located in DC, I feel like it's a lot of kind of crossover, and a opportunity for a market out there that's probably not really being touched like that. So we're gonna talk about that outside of this. But
Awesome.
yeah. So you mentioned you've been freelancing. How long you been freelancing?
Um, I've been freelancing, I want to say, for the past, um, probably we'll say the past. 6 months or so.
Okay, so
Past 6 months or so.
it's pretty recent. What were you doing before that? You mentioned you had a couple jobs too.
Yeah, so before that, I was a junior support analyst,
Mm.
a junior IT support analyst, and um, yeah, I get to losing track, man.
Mm.
And before that, I was a I was a help desk specialist. And I want to say those are the main jobs that I had in
Mm.
IT because before that I worked for myself.
Okay,
Um,
got you.
yeah.
So would you well, I guess how long did you do that work? The tech, like the help desk stuff and then the analysis stuff.
I was in help desk for maybe about 2 years, maybe a year and a half,
Mm.
and my support specialist role wasn't long at all. I want to say it may have been like 6 to 8 months.
So with
Yeah.
those jobs, did you feel like what went into you leaving those jobs? I guess.
Well, the support specialist job, that role was really just the contract
Oh, was a
itself, you
contract.
know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And before that, it was mainly it was the pay. It
Mm.
was one of those jobs where I had just freshly got my cert, so in the the community or the place is called Community College Preparatory Academy or CC Prep.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the database for Hope was. So they
Okay.
offer placement, but of
I
course
see.
them offering placement, it was like, the kind of, the pay wasn't really where
Yeah.
it needed to be. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
That's usually how it is. Like with those first jobs, they gonna give you like the scraps for real, for real.
Oh
I think
yeah.
my first job was like 50K. I think, which it was a contract too.
Hmm.
I did a boot camp and then they contracted us out. So
Hmm.
and you mentioned that you were working for yourself before. Did you want to get into that or no?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, we get into it. Me working for myself, like, and that's where I have majority of my work experience for.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, most of my adult life, I've been an entrepreneur.
Oh, I'm definitely
Um,
trying to hear more about that.
yeah, man. So, what I've done is more so like retail.
Mm-hmm.
I sold, and it was all hand to hand physical transactions. I sold,
Oh
oil. No, 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 no. It's not. No,
no
no,
no no
no, no.
no! It was
Nah, legal
yeah, I know.
transactions, man. So,
Yeah, I was just saying.
I sold like
Yeah.
oils, shea butters,
Right,
body
right.
butters, incense, books, and artifacts, things of that nature, jewelry, all of
Yeah.
that. So, and I did that for a good amount of years. I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years. But at the time when I started doing it, I didn't have a real plan or a real vision because I kind of started young, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So my whole thing was just, making sure I could put food on the table, make sure I
Right.
could pay rent, things of that nature. I didn't really have a concise business plan. I didn't really have a business mind. So
Mhm.
I really kind of had to develop that, and I can say I'm still really developing it right now. But whereas if I would have known the things that I know now back then when I first started, or when I was heavily focused on that aspect of my entrepreneurship, it
Mhm.
would have I could see the success would have been
On
different.
another level, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, so the reason I said that though is because having products on hand and trying to sell, like I do like a little merch stuff
Hmm.
for my music too. So it's drop shipping. People buy it, it gets sent from wherever it's at.
Hmm.
Doing like hand to hand stuff, having products on you and stuff, I can't imagine that.
Yeah,
So then,
yeah.
and, I
It's
tried
very
with the
limited.
physical tees. Yeah, it's hard. And
Yeah.
then, but to do that for 5 years, I'm glad you brought this up. To do that for
Hmm.
5 years, it kind of shows that hustler in you to sustain yourself like that. But then also it makes more sense that you mentioned that you're doing your own thing now, and
Hmm.
it's very risky to go out on your own. So to hear that you did it before, you got your certs and everything kind of in between there, and then now you're doing it again, but you're doing
Hmm.
it with the knowledge that you gained and that out of the certs and all that, kind of combining those two times in your life to make what you're doing now. Like that's I love that, yo. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. And I think a big part of it is us just realizing our potential. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like us as a people, our potential is unlimited.
For sure.
Especially like, especially us as a people, because literally like when we talk about everything that we enjoy in this day and time is
Hmm.
because of us.
Right.
At some point or another, it's because of us. Whether we're
Hmm.
talking about the inventions, even when we're talking about the way that the quote unquote system or government is ran,
Right.
all of this really came from things, our concepts, our way of life, our inventions, our drive, our ambition
Yeah.
is really all about us. So um I think it's important for us to start being very focused and very, I guess the word I'm trying to say is very intentional with
I love
our,
that.
not, you know what I'm saying, like not only just about how much money we want to make or the type of life we want to live, but intentional about what we're building.
Mm.
Because I don't I don't want to have my child have to go out and ask somebody else for a job, or be dependent on somebody else to make sure that they're okay. You know what I
Right.
mean? Just so it really falls on us to be able to build something to pass down,
Mm.
because that's all we're living in this day and time. We're living in places where we're going to jobs for, or going to work for people who had the foresight to build something to pass down to their children, and now
Mm.
their children maybe not even 9 times out of 10 are not even qualified to be in these positions, but we're the ones that are qualified 9 times out of 10, overqualified,
Hmm.
and getting passed over for jobs and things of that nature just because of our ethnicity or our background you
Yeah.
know
Damn, yo. It's you talking. I got like a couple good clips out of there because you spitting right now for real though. Because I feel like you said that word intention, that intention
Mhm.
of I'm going to learn this thing or I'm going to apply myself. I'm a expand beyond what I've been shown. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that mindset. I love that. Yo. I'm glad you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was perfect. Um. All right, yeah. So I want to get into like later on. We're gonna get into like where you see yourself going, and I'm looking forward to that for sure. But all
Mhm.
right, you mentioned the Hope Project, right?
Mhm.
Is that so? The next question is what or who got you interested in tech and like in this field? So did it come through that project, the organization, or did it get sparked before that?
Yeah, man, it pretty much came through there.
Hmm.
Being as though when we look at our generation is like, where our generation is so unique because we literally grew with technology.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like we literally grew with technology
literally though.
from, like real talk, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's something that's kind of is almost a no-brainer because it's such a part of, it's like natural for us now.
Hmm.
Like it's a natural part of our life. But I never really thought of it as a profession, really. Like I never really thought of going into that field. But what's funny is my mate, she was in college at the time,
Hmm.
and she just got fresh out of college, and she got her bachelor's degree and everything like that, and she's done internships and all of that, and it was difficult for her to get a job. It was difficult for her to actually get a position. Mind you, her degree is nothing had nothing to do with IT at all.
Hmm.
So she's noticing how difficult it is to get a position, get a job for what her degree is, and
Right.
she had a criminal justice degree.
Mm.
So she hears about the whole project, and she like, yeah, I think I want to do it. I'm gonna go to orientation. I'm gonna go to the little welcome thing, and see what it's about. And I think I'm gonna start it. I'm like, all right, you sure it's something that you want to do, something that you're interested in. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, I think I'm somewhat interested in it. And she went through it, and of course, I support her, supporting her 100% through it, and even to the fact of helping her on some of her tests and helping her study, et cetera, et
Mm-hmm.
cetera. And she goes through it, and she goes through the whole thing, gets internships, and then she gets hired and things of that nature. It's kind of like a steady steady pipeline that she's pretty much flowing through.
Right.
So her doing it, and then the next go around, they okay, we're opening it up again for another cohort.
Mm-hmm.
So once I seen that, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna go see what this is about. And and
Right.
it pretty much went from there.
No, that's cool. 'Cause you mentioned like the opportunity aspect of it earlier.
Hmm.
So it's crazy. Like sometimes you saw her go through that and saw like, okay, this I see what's happening. Like you said, a pipeline basically.
Right.
Did this, you got your search, you got your internship, you getting this job, and
Hmm.
then kind of taking heed of that and being like, what I'm saying, is coming around again. Am I going to take this opportunity or not? And then taking it, I think it really speaks to the mindset. I think because some people
Right.
might look at that and be like, it's boring or ain't nobody trying
Hmm.
to go back to school, studying. Nobody trying to do that type of stuff. And yeah, to see an opportunity and grab it, I
Yeah.
admire that. I love that. I love seeing that in people. That's
Yeah, man.
cool.
It's such it's such an important aspect of being whatever you would look at as successful.
Right.
That's
Right.
that's a very important aspect of it. Like seeing an opportunity and seizing it. And the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, and it's this saying that I find myself saying pretty often: nothing beats a failure but a try. You know,
Yo, for real.
so it's like that's the only thing, man. Like you might as well go ahead and attempt it, and even then,
Yeah.
the mindset is very important, because even if it doesn't happen the way that you wanted it to happen, it's still a win because you learn from it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love that. That's like I might have put this in a bar or something along these lines of like the only way for you to really fail is to not do anything. Like if you
Hmm.
don't do anything, you basically fail before you even attempt it.
Exactly.
So yeah, you spit in the day though.
Yes.
For real. No, that's tough. And I love that she was the one that saw the opportunity, did it, and then
Yeah.
you kind of follow suit. I love that.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
all right, so you got into. I'm looking at my notes over here.
Hmm.
All right, you mentioned earlier. So the next question is: was tech always your original plan? But you mentioned earlier that you didn't really necessarily have a plan. You just knew. It seemed like you always kind of knew that you wanted to work for yourself or
Hmm.
be an entrepreneur. So was there anything else that you wanted to do before you took that opportunity? Was there anything else that you were thinking about doing?
Honestly, bro, growing up, man, my passion was just music the whole
Mm,
time. You know what I
mm,
mean? Like younger, like that was all that I wanted to do. Anything that happened in between, I just looked at as, okay, this is just happening in between. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So even now, I still carry that same mindset or similar mindset,
Mm,
because that's my passion. I would love to just be able to get paid off of what I love doing.
yeah, for
So
sure.
that's not to say that I'm just going to leave tech alone, but now I'm seeing that there's more than one way to integrate your passion into in your
Mhm,
career.
mhm,
It can be interwoven. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I definitely say, yeah, there was no necessary career path uh, that I had in mind. Well, actually, matter of fact, because before getting into before getting into tech, I actually took a EKG course or whatever, and I got certified as an EKG technician, and I kind of wanted to go in the healthcare
That's
field.
that's like the
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 heart mo-
clear visual,
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's like the heart monitors, like if you was going for like
Uh,
a stress test or whatever, and then it reads with the with the waves, and
all right, got you.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I got certified in that, and I found, man, it was just difficult getting your foot in the door.
Mm.
And honestly, if I'm being completely 100% honest, man, I think it's because my name. You know what I mean? Because I
Oh
my
snap!
bro, like I got a real black name. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you see that name on the application, you know this is a, you know what I mean? You know what type of person this is. They may not know what type of person I am, but they automatically know, okay, this is a black guy. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Automatically. And it's not just my I guess what I could say is it's not just my isolated thoughts. These are things that I'm hearing from people who actually work in
Mm.
the hiring process. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Who have experience with the hiring process and what applications get sent through and that. And it's a shame that we actually that's a thing in this day and age. But truth
Mm.
is truth.
Wow, you just kind of blew my mind with that because the second episode, no, the third episode I just did. Her name is Heather. She's a black woman, but her name is Heather. So
Hmm.
she was talking about how she'll go into an interview and they'll be expecting a white woman to show up.
Right. Right.
So it's like, damn, for you it's harder because you might not even get the opportunity just because of the name. Damn, bro.
Exactly.
Damn. All
Yeah.
right. I didn't expect that. Let me hold up. Hold
Yeah,
up. Let
man.
me let me catch back up to where we are. Damn. All right. So you thought about going into the healthcare field, doing that.
Mhm.
Damn. So it's hard to get into that, John. So um, it seemed like obviously you took the opportunity, right?
Mhm.
But then you also like you touched on. You said something earlier in regards to like how we grew up with tech in general, and so it makes sense to
Mhm.
like take the opportunity also. Um, so it sounded like it just was like good timing with you being exposed to the opportunity, you being in a position where you're open to take an opportunity and
Mhm.
having that curiosity to just kind of see like where this can go. Um,
Yeah.
all right, I like that. That's I like asking like, was it originally the plan? Some people know for sure that this is what they wanted to do. Some people,
Mhm.
they kind of fall into it. So I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so next you mentioned that you did you went to community college.
Mhm.
What did you go there for?
So, kind of two-pronged answer. So, actually, when I got my EKG tech certification, that was actually from UDC, which
Mm,
is the community college here. And then getting those two IT certifications that would actually be, it was through the whole project, but they have it at, it's called Community College Prep.
mm,
It's Community College Preparatory Academy. So
yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how it functions, but I know they got community college in the name. So you know what I'm saying. So I'm not sure whether it is an actual community college or it's supposed to be like an academy that prepares you for community college or whatever. But
Mhm,
that would be where I
got you.
went.
So seemed like a bulk of you mentioned that the whole project got you like introduced or got you those first two certs,
Hmm.
and then from there you just kept getting certs. So
Yeah.
all right, this is like a two-part question. At that time, were you strictly just going through the certification process and learning through that, or were you learning outside of that? And then also, as you're learning stuff now, what tools do you use to like gain knowledge now? So kind of two parts.
Okay. Yeah. So when I was going through the course, it was definitely a lot of it was what was given by way of the course, and I was also
Mm-hmm.
doing my self study with what is it called, Udemy.
Udemy, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing some self study through there. As a matter of fact, I started like studying for the security plus. As a matter of fact, like, bypassing the CompTIA A plus and fundamentals plus and all of that stuff, I was just going straight for the security plus. But
Yeah.
when the opportunity arose, and it's like kind of like a clear pathway, or that pipeline, then I'm like, let me just take advantage of that.
Mhm. That makes sense. So,
Yeah. So
as far as oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no, I was just trying to see. So did I only answer one question?
Yeah. So the
Or
second part was, where do you go for knowledge now? Like, are you still on
okay.
Udemy, or are you using other stuff?
Yeah, now I still use like Udemy. Of course, YouTube is a great source as
Yeah.
well. But those main things, whenever I'm like, independently studying and I need to figure out something else, like we
Hmm.
got the internet at our fingertips, so
Right.
definitely
Right.
take advantage.
Got you. All right. So we're gonna get into this next part, because you touched on like the race aspect of it earlier. So as a black man, what has your experience been like? Uh, I mean, shit. You could talk about the healthcare stuff. You could talk about going through like the tech process. You mentioned like interviewing recently or applying for jobs recently. So, what has your experience been like? Throughout this journey as a black man.
Yeah, man. I think it's a journey. It's definitely a rugged road, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Just entering into a field where you're underrepresented and underappreciated as well. So it's I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it.
Take your time.
Let me see. It can be it's something like many different things in life. It's something that can break you if you let it. You know, it's one of those make or break things. Like if you have something in your head that you want to accomplish, it's something like being in this position as a black man is something that just made me want to be more innovative,
Mm-hmm.
made me want to be more intentional, just because it seems like at every turn, there's a wall,
Mm-hmm.
there's a stumbling block, there's an obstacle,
Yeah.
and the thing the thing that I notice is, as opposed to us being, I guess we could say, being each other's helps, or making sure that we leave the door open for the next. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times that's not the case. You know what I mean? You'll see one person in this room or in this society, and they'll rather be the token, because
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Feel
they'll
special.
rather just yeah, exactly, because they want to feel special, so they'll rather just be, oh, I'm the only one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've definitely come in contact with that, but I feel like that's something that's not even just exclusive to the tech field or the tech
Yeah.
industry. You know
Definitely
what I
not.
mean? Yeah. So my experience is it's been something. It's been I'll say that there's negative aspects, but there's also been some positive aspects as well,
Mm-hmm.
because then you will get certain people. For example, like when I'm talking about the whole project, is all mainly started. I can't say whether it was started, but it's mainly pushed by this one brother. His name is Raymond Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes like extremely hard for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very like the success of it. It speaks for itself when we
Right.
get into these specific positions. When you're like here, it kind of rings bells, like when you're in the tech field and like you're just starting a job, and you say like, oh yeah, I'm from the Hope
Whole
Project. It kind
project.
of
Yeah.
speaks for itself. Like
Yeah.
they automatically expect a certain level of expertise from you and things of that nature. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a beautiful thing if you want it to be a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Because perspective is everything.
For sure.
So a lot of people in many different fields, because of there being so much resistance, they'll use that as an excuse to not try,
Mm.
or they'll use it as an excuse to not go forward, as opposed to knowing that, okay, this is pushing me in a different direction. I got to be a little bit more flexible. So as opposed to me just looking at it like, man, I can't get in, I can't get a position, I can't keep a position or something like that. I'm taking it the opposite way. So okay, so this means that I'm meant to be able to give people these opportunities, because
Right,
I know what I'm going through. You know what I mean?
right,
I
right.
know how it feels to be on this end. So that means that I gotta transmute this energy and use it for more positive.
Damn, bro. I can't even expand on that. That was beautifully said. Wow. Um,
Appreciate it.
yeah, like you mentioned being the only person in the room and shit like that. I've had that a lot, and that's what sparked this channel. It's like I can't be the only person feeling like this. Like,
Right.
and then it also was like, why am I the only? Is it really just we don't
Right.
know about this? Like, what is it? So,
Mm-hmm.
a common theme I'm picking up on is exposure. If people
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just used to a certain thing, people telling you go a certain field or just get any job and just work that job until you can whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like you do the Hope Project, stuff like that. For me, it was early exposure through my dad. He works with computers. Also, that's why I say I got to connect y'all. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like that exposure is everything. It's literally the difference between people in this field and people not in this field. And it's crazy when I
Absolutely.
like the more I just realize it, the more people I talk to, and it's smacking me in the face. It's literally just people who don't know about it. And damn, but you said his name. I'm gonna have to say his name one more time. I'm gonna have to look him up, and I want to look more into
Yeah.
the whole project also.
Absolutely. His name is Raymond Bell.
Bale, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna definitely look into that. But damn, bro, you touched on a lot. Definitely gave me some good clips from from that. Um, Yeah, so throughout that process, I'm assuming it was a lot more because it's kind of targeted towards. I'm assuming people of color, black people. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
what was that experience like? Like kind of going through that with other people that look like you and going through similar experiences.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of the beauty of it,
Mhm.
because as competitive as the capitalistic society wants
Right.
you to be, there's that's never been our way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, we've always, like, if we were to go back to our original roots, we were always tribal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We were always
Community.
communal. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That was
Right.
always our way, because we know that it's, together each achieves
Right.
more,
Right.
or team. You know what I mean? So we always knew that, but it's like, in this society, we were kind of forced to get away from that. And the thing has been, okay, you do you and I'm gonna do me. You
Right.
better get yours because I got mine. You know
Right.
what I mean? So being in that environment where we're all coming from similar backgrounds, similar, we 9 times out of 10 we're in the same tax bracket. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
So all of us being in there to learn a thing, it's like, I found the beauty in it, because I'm surrounded by my people who all have the same feeling of like, okay, I'm not about to just settle. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I
Yeah.
know that there's I know that there's a way for me to get more, or there's a path or an avenue for me to go into where I'm actually, valued, or you know what I'm saying?
For
So
sure.
us being in the same room together, it causes you to, because again, we're in an environment where we're learning. So
Hmm.
now I gotta, now I'm studying with you. Now we're talking. Now we're having conversations. Now we're trying
Right.
to figure this thing out together.
Right.
Where a lot of times we don't get that anymore. Especially in our community, a lot of times it's so divided, so separated.
Mhm.
It's so selfish in a sense.
Right.
When if we knew the truth about how things work, anything that's anything that has any success is built by a community or by a
For
team.
sure. For
You know
sure.
what I mean? So we all got. So now it's like us. That's a room or an area where I seen us coming together mentally to achieve something. You know, sure we may each
Mm.
individually have to pass our certifications individually, but it's like it's an experience that we all took in together, which was beautiful to me. You know, hope that answered your question.
Mm. Oh, definitely. I love that, yo. Cause that's what I would imagine. Like it's something different about being around people that look like you and seeing
Yeah,
them accomplish what you're trying to do. It's just something. It just hits different.
yeah,
That's why I
absolutely.
had to ask about that because like going through school, I went to East Stroudsburg University. I don't know if how familiar you are with like the Poconos and stuff out here,
Hmm.
um, but it's a predominantly white. What was it? PWI, predominantly white
Hmm.
institution. So uh, a lot of times it was me, maybe maybe one or two other black people or people with some type of color to them,
Hmm.
and like you said, that the tax bracket or the socioeconomic part of it goes hand in hand with the race part of it.
Yeah,
So you got
absolutely.
people that have been exposed to like robots and robotics and like all types of engineering and stuff since they was kids because their parents might had a you might have went to a school, elementary school, middle school, high school that had that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Had those
Hmm.
labs and all that. So you already kind of going at a disadvantage because you don't know as much as that person. But going into somewhere where it's more of a level playing field, where it's more, even though it is kind of, like you said, you got to finish it on your own. It's still that camaraderie, that common theme of we're going through this together. That community aspect of it, I love that, yo.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna look into this organization for sure. That's what's up, man. All right, so we got a lot into your life, working for yourself, doing the help desk stuff, your other job that you did, the contract, and then what you're doing now. So over that time, what adversity, what obstacles have you had to overcome, to get to where you're at now?
So what time frame are we speaking on?
Yeah, whatever you want to get into.
Cause yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Whatever you want to share. I'm ready to hear.
Um, mm, it's almost like where do I begin? Because yeah, man, because it's so much adversity, you know.
Mm.
But
If you want to give like maybe something that stick out the most to you, because part of what I said was I got to hear your story because for you to still have this mindset and like this, this drive in you, and then knowing that you
yeah.
had like a lot of obstacles and shit, I gotta. So like maybe all right, let's do it like this
Hmm.
through each phase. So working for yourself,
Hmm.
during the whole project and when you're getting your certs and all that, and then let's say these last 6 months since you started um,
Hmm.
doing your freelance stuff now. So like those three phases.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that helps me,
Right.
compartmentalize it a lot better.
Right.
Yeah. So let me see. So during the my entrepreneurial phase, or well, I'm still an entrepreneur, but during
Yeah.
the starting, the
The
beginning,
first. Yeah.
yeah, the first inception of my entrepreneurship, I say the challenge was somewhat of a it was somewhat so I think the biggest challenge there was accepting responsibility.
Mm,
I think because we get a glimpse of it when we're, let's say, working for somebody else, when we're employed, right? You get a glimpse of it in the scope of, okay, if I don't come to work, I don't get paid. You know what I mean? If I don't show up, if I'm not present or if I'm absent, then I know
mm,
that comes out of my paycheck.
right.
But that gets much more intensified when literally you are the
Yeah.
business. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like you control whether you're going to have product, whether you don't have product, whether you have the right type of product, whether you have the right amount
Mm-hmm.
of it,
Mm-hmm.
where you're going, you know what I mean? Like where you're going, where your demographic is, making sure you keep track of that demographic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like all of that stuff. I think that was a learning curve for me. But it's again, it's a beautiful thing because you don't know what you don't know. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
you don't really know how high you can go or how much potential you have until you
Mm-hmm.
start fishing for it. You know, so I think that was a big part of the um, a big adversity for me in the beginning. So going to the phase of studying or the going through the course or the whole project,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say mm, one thing one thing that I would say about that, the biggest or most significant, I could say is the most significant. Having to make sure that now, mind you, during all of this, I still have to, work for myself. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
During all this, I'm still an entrepreneur, but also, in taking this course,
Mm-hmm.
I would say having to put myself back in the mode of I have to be here for a specific amount of time, and
Oh, I
you know what I'm
see.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it kind of it was a thing of it's kind of opposites in the sense because on the one end with I guess we could say my previous lesson was learning, okay, that I'm completely responsible for the success or failure of the business, which
Mm-hmm.
includes managing my time and making sure that I'm in the right place at the
At
right
the right
time,
time.
you
Right.
know.
Right. Yeah.
And then now I'm going in this realm where, okay, now this block of hours I have to make sure that I have already made enough,
Yeah.
to be able to set aside this time for studying
Damn.
or going to class and all of that at the same time as well. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely a big part of it, the adversity there.
Damn.
And now I would say, now even I would say now back, uh, I could say now even some months to maybe even a year or so back, one of the a difficult part would be, I guess it's another learning curve, um, learning all the business acumen. You know what I mean? Like learning everything about these corporations, what
Mhm.
corporation does what, how to move, how to maneuver, how to properly incorporate. You know what I mean? All of those different things
Mhm.
are things that I found not necessarily difficult, but it's like shifting, your mindset because I much rather be doing something abstract or creative, you know what I mean? Because I'm a creative by
Right.
nature,
For sure.
so when we get into the things or the realm of business, business is something that's very staunch,
Yeah.
analytical, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's something that's kind of adverse for me, just period. But having to kind of push through that, I
No,
think,
I definitely relate
I
to
think
the
that's
to
yeah.
yeah, business is way more structured than you would want your art to ever be. So,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I relate to that. But damn, bro, I'm glad we broke it up into the different phases like that because
Yeah.
it shows the growth aspect of it too. Because it's
Hmm.
like you go from you know the early business stuff, realizing that this is all up to me. You pass or you fail on your own. Like if you're not doing the work, that's it. You know what I'm saying? You're
Hmm.
not getting anything. And then to go from that to like you said, having to manage your time and all that, to having to sit still, knowing that you need to be out here making bread or you got to make bread by a certain time. Now you're in this spot and having to kind of be a little more structured than you would have been. Uh,
Hmm.
that I can't imagine having to just kind of make that switch like that. But you made it work, and then now
Yeah,
the business part of it, it's the stuff I hate too, like the incorporation and all the paperwork and all that. Man,
yeah, yeah.
it's definitely showing though the growth and how you've been able to adapt. I would say for sure. So I think that's commendable. Definitely
I appreciate it, man.
for sure, bro. All right, so next I want to get into where you see yourself going. So like 5, 10. You got I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes left.
For sure,
All
for
right,
sure.
I just want to make sure I'm not running over your time. Oh yeah, so you are definitely somebody that I would say is driven and ambitious. So where do you see yourself going 5 years, 10 years, like 20 plus years from now?
Um, so in the realm of tech or just
Uh,
period?
um, Whatever you feel comfortable with. Usually, I say just life in general, but like if you want to get just about tech, then that's cool too.
Okay, yeah, I'll generalize it, because it definitely includes, the tech field. So again, like I said, the business that, um, it's already started, but the business that, I'm in the process of growing
Hmm.
within the next 5 years. I see it as being something that's very, I don't want to just say successful, but I see the business being a key part of growing, or us as a people being able to expand in the tech area, the tech
Hmm.
field,
Hmm.
not just in the ways that we're used to or accustomed to now,
Right,
but also in the ways of tech in the future, because we know tech is always growing.
right.
So I see the business being something that is somewhat like a entrance or a funnel to be able to get out as many of our people into an area, into this profession where we can grow, we can expand. I
Hmm.
also I see it going beyond just tech as well and
Mm.
into other industries, because I feel as though when it comes to the way that people in general, like beyond just, race or class, I feel like the way that people have to go about, I guess we could say, have to go about getting into a specific field or profession. I feel like the way is just so, it's so sparse and
Yeah,
widespread. You know what I
yeah.
mean? I feel like if it'll be a lot easier and a lot more beneficial towards the person themselves if they have almost like a one-stop shop to be able to go into multiple avenues, and then
Mhm.
actually be able to, be somewhat of an apprentice to whomever works in this specific field or specific
Right,
avenue, and then it
right.
gives you a correct course or pipeline or pathway to realizing your goal or career. And
Yeah.
I also, I don't see myself actually living in the United States.
Hmm.
I actually plan on getting some, having some land, whether it be in Nigeria, Kenya. I'm very passionate about building back, or building up our homeland,
Hmm.
because if we notice anything that's going on in Africa in this day and time, Africa is just getting, is like the pillaging never stopped. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? The stealing of resources never stopped, and the people that's
Right.
there, like that's the most wealthy place on the planet. But
Hmm.
yet, and still, the people that live there are doing the worst. You
Right.
know what I mean? And us as a people, whether we want to recognize it or not, like we're descendants of this land. You follow what I'm saying? So America is really genuinely just a corporation, right?
Hmm.
And many different people come from different home from their homelands to America to learn, to get a degree, and to work. And then what they do is they send money back to their homeland and build
Yeah.
it up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So us as a people, like us as Black people in America, we are some of the wealthiest people in terms of monetarily or financially on the planet because the US dollar is worth so much. Even
Right.
though us as a whole, we're kind of living, we're living in poverty more or less. But
Mm-hmm.
us as a whole, if we were to actually put our mind and our focus back on where we came from, we could build that up and make sure that that's the next empire. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
in terms of financially, in terms of globally, like when we look at places like China, most of the Chinese people that we met or that I've met over here, they're not only goal oriented or driven, but they have great careers.
Yeah.
But their mindset is 90% of the time they're sending the funds that they make, or at least some of the funds that they make over there, and they're just building more and expanding.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that's literally for them. You know what I mean? Like us as a people, like, bro, don't get me wrong, we're native here. You know what I mean? Like we are native here, but
Right.
our descendancy is by way of the motherland. And that's really it really has the potential to be a paradise on earth if we want it
Mm-hmm.
to be, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. My first in person interview actually, he had just gotten back from, I want to say, I should know. I think he said Nigeria. I know he said South Africa. He went to a couple countries over there.
mm,
He was telling me, same similar stuff, about how getting out there just feels like grounding and everything like that. So,
mm,
no, I need to get myself out there for sure. And I don't know exactly like what country where my people would be from, but
yeah.
it's cool to hear you talk about that. Is that like in 5 years, 10 years that you want to be, out there, or what are you thinking?
Well, the way I'm thinking, I plan on going out there uh again in 2024. I plan on going out there somewhere in the beginning, hopefully January
Hmm.
sometime. And out there, I plan on purchasing land and actually getting a house built,
Oh wow.
there. Yeah, and then actually from there building a community, where literally like a gated community where there is multiple houses.
Hmm.
And by the way, when I say houses, like when we talk about, if we're talking about the money that we use here, like American currency, right, the US dollar,
Hmm.
versus over there many places in Africa. I don't know which country a person would prefer, but most of the time the US dollar has a lot of buying power over
Yeah.
there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the houses that we're getting built over here, or we're paying mortgage on over here, that'll be a mansion over
Right.
there. You know what I
Right.
mean? So if the right amount of people actually comes together with the right mindset, we could literally build a whole kingdom over there, a whole gated community full of mansions and things of that nature.
Hmm.
So my goal is to visit, to visit first in 2024, and then go about purchasing the land and getting a house built, or a
Hmm.
mansion, quote unquote, built, and taking it from there. It really just depends on how long it takes to actually build out the house. you know
Nah, that's what's up though. I like it because it's crazy because he mentioned he wants to move out there too, like long term.
hmm
So yeah, bro, I gotta get out there. Um, so it sounds
so
like
just
by the 20-year mark, it sounds like you just gonna be out there. Like the plan is to already be out there.
Yeah, definitely by the 20-year mark. That's definitely the plan. But that's not to say that I'll have no business here.
Right, right,
I'm
for
I'm
sure.
I'm sure,
No, no.
some type of travel back and forth. It really depends on what these guys that's in office here are doing, because you know
If
what I
you
mean,
want to come
because
back, yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah. It's
Man, at
definitely a lot of things going on in that realm.
the end of the day, you could bring the tech back. Bring the tech with you, and then
Yeah.
do what you gotta do out there. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of we talk about exposure out there could use a lot of exposure also, but then it's a lot of technically advanced places out there too. Like
Oh yeah.
that's what I be wanting people to understand is like it's not just what you might see on TV or something like that. It's full blown cities
Absolutely.
with skyscrapers and all types of shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely trying to get out there. But yeah, we gonna touch back and then see what's going on. Probably as your journey keeps going. But all right, we're gonna start wrapping up and shit. So let me see. So I've been like kind of combining these last two things. So I have like
Hmm.
what tips do you have for somebody that might be going through something similar or trying to get into tech or trying to maybe going through search and everything like that, and then also like your kind of like final words. So if you wanted to do like your business, give your business all your grammar, like any parting
Hmm.
words basically.
Okay. So my I really only have one tip, I think, and that's just be persistent.
Mm,
And whatever it is, whatever especially if you're trying to get into the tech field, the tech industry, definitely do your research on what part you want to play in the tech
mm,
industry,
yeah,
and whatever that is, find a pipeline and be persistent
yeah.
in it. And I think that's um yeah, man. In terms of parting words, man, I think yeah, man. I don't know how to end it. I don't know how to end it, man.
Did you want to plug your business?
Oh, for sure. Well, okay. The name of the business is called Attune Solutions LLC. But all of
Tune
this,
solution.
Attune, ATUN
Okay,
Solutions
okay.
LLC, and but I don't currently have any social media or anything like that for that business.
Mm-hmm.
But all of that will be coming by way of 9Frequency, and that would be essentially where you could get all information that I've been speaking on, even the spirituality aspect, all of that. My
Mm-hmm.
music, or my Instagram at 9Frequency, Twitter, all of that, YouTube, 9Frequency.
All right, bet. I'm gonna throw all that. I'll put it up on the screen and shit. But
My man.
like you talked about the being persistent. I'm heavy on the consistency and like the
Hmm.
dedication. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you put your mind to it, you do anything long enough and actually apply yourself, you definitely could become great at that thing. So I'm glad you. That's a good tip. You don't gotta
Yeah.
really say too much. That's a good jump. But yeah,
Appreciate
no,
it.
I appreciate you taking the time to do this. It is like middle of the day, so I definitely appreciate it. We've been
Hey,
trying to do this for a while, like I said, so it's cool
yeah, yeah, bro. I appreciate you, providing the platform, man. You
for
even
sure.
taking it upon yourself to do this, man. I think it's big, man. It's important. So,
Man, thank you,
hey, yeah,
thank you.
absolutely, bro. Keep doing it, man. And however, whenever we connect after this, man, however I can
Mm,
help, whatever way I can get integrated, man. Just let me
mm.
know.
I say no more, yeah, because I've been like I want to do more stuff like this, more collaborative stuff, not necessarily an interview, but like just
Hmm.
collaborate more with people. So I'm definitely up with that. And then, like I said, we're gonna talk like about my pop and like the music and all that outside of this. But yeah, so I'm gonna just wrap up now and then you can just call it. I appreciate it.
All right,
Yeah, so this has been another My Tech Story. That's pretty much it. Y'all be safe.